Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive right into the heart of Orthodox Christian faith. We're going to try and understand why one single event, the resurrection of Jesus Christ, is seen as the ultimate victory. Really, the most important festival of all.
Okay, to really get a feel for this, let's start with these incredible words from the 6th century saint, Saint Yared. He just perfectly captures the cosmic scale of what we're talking about. You see, this isn't just about one man rising from a tomb. No, it's an act that literally reached back into the past to free the imprisoned and shot forward to change, well, all of eternity.
So this first idea is crucial, the victory over death. For Orthodox Christians, this is so much more than just a holiday. They actually call it the victory cry against death and hell. I mean, just think about that phrasing. It's seen as the single moment that completely rewrote the rules of human history and our entire relationship with God.
And this victory, it's proclaimed with just absolute certainty. The core belief is that Christ didn't just escape death, he conquered it, utterly. The idea is that he chained the forces of darkness, he reversed the original fall of Adam, and he restored a permanent peace between humanity and God. It's a game changer because it means death no longer gets the final say.
And that's exactly why, especially for Orthodox Tewahedo followers, Easter is number one. It holds the absolute highest spiritual regard, way above any other ceremony. You have to understand, it's not just another celebration. It's seen as the annual declaration of their ultimate freedom from the power and finality of death.
Okay, so let's get into the proof of the risen body. You see, a belief this huge, this monumental, has to rest on a really solid foundation. And for this, the foundation is that the resurrection wasn't just some spiritual idea, but a physical, bodily reality. Let's dig into why the evidence for this is so absolutely central to the whole faith.
So this is the big question, right? But was it a real physical body? What's so interesting is that the scriptures totally anticipate this question. I mean, the disciples themselves were confused, they were scared, and the texts go to great lengths to provide tangible, really undeniable proof, not just for them, but by extension for all of us today.
And here's the proof, right from the source. Look at Christ's direct invitation. He doesn't just show up, he actually presents himself for inspection. He's basically saying, hey, look at my hands and feet, touch me. A ghost doesn't have flesh and bones like this. It was a really deliberate effort to calm their fears that they were just seeing some kind of spirit.
And if that wasn't enough, he then went a step further. He did something a spirit absolutely positively could not do. He ate, right? He asked for food, broiled fish and honeycomb, and ate it right there in front of them. It's such a simple human act, but it was designed to be the ultimate proof of his physical reality.
Okay, but that brings up a good question. Why would a resurrected body even need food? And the answer is, it didn't. This is the crucial point. He didn't eat because he was hungry. A glorified, resurrected body doesn't need earthly food. The act was purely for their benefit. It was a specific, almost calculated move to erase any last shred of doubt they might have had.
Then you have the whole story with the Apostle Thomas, which just provides even more concrete proof. So, on day one, Jesus appears, but Thomas isn't there. And when they tell him, he famously says, "No way, I won't believe it unless I see it for myself." So what happens? An entire week goes by. Then, 8 days later, Jesus appears again, and this time, Thomas is there. Christ singles him out, invites him to touch his wounds, and that physical proof just shatters his doubt, leading to that incredible proclamation, "My Lord and my God."
All right, so now we're moving on to salvation for all humanity. Now that the physical reality has been firmly established, we can really start to unpack the immense spiritual implications of this whole thing. Because this was never just about Christ's victory, it was meant to be a victory for every single one of us.
The resurrection is really seen as the great reversal of Adam's fall. I mean, look at this comparison. It lays it out so clearly. Before, you have Adam's fall, souls imprisoned in Sheol, and death having total dominion. But after the resurrection, everything flips. Adam is saved, souls are freed, and humanity is given the hope of eternal life. It's a total paradigm shift.
And the Apostle Paul explains it so well here. He says Christ has become the first fruits of the dead. Now, what does that mean? Well, think of it like the first tomato ripening on the vine. It's the proof, the promise, that the rest of the harvest is coming. Christ's resurrection isn't a one-off event. It's the guarantee of what's to come for everyone who believes. He's the first, and the rest are to follow. All right, let's talk about walking in newness of life. Because, this is all deep, profound theology, but the real question is, how does an event from 2,000 years ago actually translate into someone's daily life? Right here, right now, what does it change?
Well, this little verse from St. Paul is really the key. The resurrection isn't just a get-out-of-jail-free card for after you die. No, it's a powerful invitation to start living a transformed life in the present. It's about a completely new way of being, starting today.
And for Orthodox Christians, this new life has a very specific starting point, the sacrament of holy baptism. It's an incredibly powerful ritual. Think about it. A person is symbolically buried with Christ under the water, and then they're raised up with him. It's a way of making his resurrection a personal, lived reality for every single person.
So what does living the resurrection actually look like day to day? Well, it's about adopting a whole new perspective. First, you start to see your sorrows and hardships as temporary because you're looking at them through this lens of eternal hope. Second, your joys get deeper. Earthly happiness is seen as a little foretaste of the eternal joy to come. And third, all this certainty is meant to arm you with courage, with optimism, and with a real profound love for others and all creation.
Okay, so now we're at the Liturgy of Triumph. This profound reality isn't just a private thing. It's celebrated and experienced together, week after week, in the Church's rituals and services, especially around Easter. Let's take a look at how the liturgy itself actually becomes a living proclamation of this triumph.
I just love this description from an Orthodox layman. It says the Church literally sheds her mournful clothes and puts on bright, radiant garments. The whole atmosphere just physically transforms. You go from the dark, solemn colors of Lent to brilliant white and gold, meant to reflect the radiant joy of the empty tomb and that angel who rolled away the stone.
And you can see how every single part of the liturgy is designed for you to participate in this triumph. You hear it in the joyful hymns and that constant greeting, Christ is risen. You experience it when you receive Holy Communion. You see it in the white robes of the clergy. And it's so important to remember that all of this is rooted in those 40 days after the resurrection, when Christ was teaching his apostles and really laying the foundation for church tradition.
So when you boil it all down, the resurrection is the absolute foundation. It's the anchor of the faith. It isn't just one belief among many. It's the central pillar that holds everything else up and gives it all meaning. It provides a hope that is meant to be completely unshakable, a lens that transforms how you see the world and prepare for whatever comes next.
And so, we're left with this question. It's the question that echoes from this great feast. The resurrection transformed the world. How will it transform you? It's an invitation that asks for more than just intellectual agreement, but for a real, personal response to this world-changing event. Thanks so much for joining this explainer.